Hello. Please work. Work. Okay, this is the longest it's lasted. We're having issues today. But I think it's Instagram. So I think I'm on. Am I on?
I see it, yeah.
Yay! Oh my gosh, you guys. We're having it's not me. And it's not my Wi-Fi. I'm pretty sure it's Instagram. So I'm gonna wait for people to join because I'm so excited. I finally got it to go through. Hi. So I'm gonna give it a good 2 minutes or so because I think there's just a whole lot of issues going on with Instagram today. I tried posting my story earlier about me going live today at 9 and it wouldn't go through. I think it finally went through maybe a minute ago, and I posted it 2 hours ago. So I'm gonna give it some time. Hopefully people will join. If not, I'm just gonna talk. Meeting set. In the meantime, I have music playing. Hello. So I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes for people to join because we're having technical difficulties. Instagram's having technical difficulties, so give it a little bit more for people to join. I know a lot of people are probably having the same issues I was having because I couldn't connect for the longest time. So, give it a little bit more. And I'm gonna give it another minute or so. If nobody else joins, it's gonna be us guys. Okay, I think we're coming to our time. I don't know. Should I give it another minute? I don't know. What do you think, Ilse? Another minute? Okay. Man, I bet you a lot of people are having issues logging in, huh? Did you get a notification when I went live? I mean, when I went on? No?
No.
That's probably what it is. It probably isn't sending notifications. Well, I'm gonna start. So Ilse, you're gonna be my #1 person today. I don't know if anybody else is gonna join, but I definitely want to do this today. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started, and we'll see if anybody else. Oh, somebody else joined. Hi, Tiffany. Now we're having issues with Instagram today, so I think a lot of people didn't get notifications. Some people are not able to log on. So I was trying to give it a couple more minutes for people to join. Hi, Manelia. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get started because I'm already 5 minutes over and I struggled logging on and I'm kind of scared I'm gonna lose connection. So I'm just gonna start. So happy Wednesday. I'm happy to be here with you guys today. I've actually have some really exciting news. So I want to share that with you guys. So today's topics, I always try to start with the topic, of course. Today's topic, I don't know if I want to just name it mission trips, but I kind of want to share my experiences, the places that I've been able to volunteer at and the mission groups I've gone with. And it's all because I have a mission trip that's coming up in June and I'm really excited about it. And so yeah, I want to kind of talk into what's going on with that, but I want to give you guys some history on how that kind of started in me, why I got the bug in traveling and then obviously doing mission trips and just kind of how all of that developed. So I wanted to share my story about that today. So my first mission trip was back, and I had to write down the dates because I kind of forgot when I went and stuff. But so my first mission trip was back in 2009, so 10 years ago. And it was organized by somebody at our church. They did a project, and it was called Extendiendo la Mano, and it was for the Dominican Republic. And when they kind of announced it, I was kind of like, I didn't know what it was going to be. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what we were going to do. And it was all brand new to me, and I was excited. I was nervous. I was going to a country I had never been before to, so that was my first one ever. And I liked the fact that it was small. It was about, I think it was about 20 of us, 19 or 20 of us, somewhere around there. Mostly people, like I said, from my church, and there was some people from our district, but it was people that I knew. Most of them, like I knew most of them. So I really liked that it was like a small group. We all got to bond, and we all got to go on this experience together, because I think for the majority of us, it was our first time. So it was really exciting. And so guys, so of course, knowing us girls, when we pack, we overpack, right? So anyway, so we got to the Dominican Republic, and like I said, I didn't really know what I was gonna do, right? So the point of our trip was to go help churches that were in need. Our main goal was to paint some of the churches, kind of help restore some of the churches, and obviously go provide moral support and spiritual support to some of the churches out there by attending their services, by helping out with some of their services, so like a campaña type of thing. So it was a combination of a lot of things. So I really liked the fact that we got to do, like, I guess what I would call community service. Two churches, one of them, which was really, like I said, it was fun because it was like something totally different. We drove up to the mountains, and there was this really little church. It was literally a one size room church, and we got to paint it. And that day, oh my God, I still remember it so vividly. So we get to this church in the middle of nowhere. It's literally like in the middle of like this hilltop, right? In the middle of nowhere. And the way we got up there, me and like some other girls ended up jumping on the back of a pickup truck, and they just drove us up there with a bunch of other people. There was like open air in the middle of nowhere. So we got to this church, and they had all the paint there already, and we started painting, and all the neighbors started getting curious like what we were doing. So you see a bunch of the little kids started coming out, and they were like talking to us, and it was a very low impoverished, very low income town. It wasn't even a town, it was a pueblito, like really, really small pueblito. And I think that moment is where my passion or my love for others kind of just grew. I don't think I had ever physically with my eyes seen such huge need in people, how these people lived. And some of them were brothers and sisters from that church, and just seeing how impoverished they were, but yet how much joy they expressed when they saw us. Just to see us, they were happy to have other people around. It was just this overwhelming feeling of so many emotions, and that's just what drew me. And after that experience, it was like, I want more of this. I want to help more. I want to do more. I want to serve more. And my passion just kind of grew from there. So that trip, like I said, had a little bit of everything. We got to do community service. We painted churches. We got to go to a couple cruzadas, so it was more spiritual. And then I think the last couple of days, we ended up going to like their national convention. So when we think of, people that know us from church, people that think about national convention, it's like this big fancy, in a way, event where you get to dress up and go, obviously receive the word, but you also get to, fellowship with a bunch of other people. But the experience we went through in the Dominican Republic, where they rented out, like, it was almost like a gym, like an arena kind of thing. Nothing glamorous in any way, shape, or form, but the presence of God and the way they worship, the way they express themselves, and just praising God was something I had never seen before. So to me, that, like I said, that trip just caught everything I wanted. It was way more than I ever even expected. So that's where my passion for mission trips grew, and that was the first one in 2009. After that, I went on a couple different ones. Back then, I think when we went on my first one in 2009, there wasn't a lot of different organizations or groups that did mission trips where I thought I could be a part of. There's always been like bigger trips that are sponsored by like nonprofit organizations, obviously like big companies or big organizations like I think like Catholic Charities does some, and there's just a bunch of other people that do them. But my church or my organization, there wasn't really many out there that gave us that opportunity. But slowly, more opportunities opened up, and then I went on another mission trip. The second one I went on was with an organization called I just went blank. Oh, Christian Brigades. So that mission trip was focused on providing medical services to also a impoverished town in Honduras called Naranjito. So what we did there was actual doctors that went on this mission trip, and there was nurses, and then there was volunteers like myself that helped out, whether it was with translation, whether it was taking vitals, whether it was helping patients and welcoming them. There was just so many things that you could have been done, but that was more focused on medical assistance. So I really enjoyed that one as well. That was in 2013, and then that one I got to go with my brother Louis, and it was such an amazing experience because I got to share it with him. Oh, and then we also got to visit an orphanage, which was like I think one of the highlights because you got to spend time with the kids, just play with them, and that was a lot of fun. So that was my second trip. My third one was with Messengers of Peace, so our organization's our youth organization, and we went to Costa Rica. And I think that one was my second favorite one, because I've met so many people that have impacted my life in such a significant way, and I've made so many friends from there. Well, I made friends from there that till this day I still keep in touch with, and I hold close to my heart, and that I consider good friends, even though they're not here where I live. They're in other states, but I count them as close friends because we went through so much on that trip. And I definitely want to talk about that trip because that trip was something else. So it was in Costa Rica. It was a 10-day trip. It was focused on going and providing spiritual support. It was, doing campañas. It was going to little towns and sharing the word. It was an evangelical mission trip. And one of the things that happened towards the end of the trip, so every trip I go on, there's always at least one day where it's like a free day, and we get to either go on a tour or we get to just have a free time to just hang out with each other. So our free day in Costa Rica, they took us to this on a tour to see a volcano. And go figure, our free day, we're climbing up because it was like a hike. It was like an hour hike or something like that to get to the top of the volcano. Okay, but it was like rainy, so we had like ponchos and we're like wet and we're trying to get up to see this volcano, right? So we get to the top of this hike, and the volcano's right here, and there was nothing but fog. We couldn't see anything. Like, it was literally just fog. We're like, okay, so we like hiked all the way up here for like fog, right? But I guess it was like the hike up there that made it fun, right? So anyways, so we come back down from the hike, and we're on this big bus. It was like 50 of us that went on that trip. And so of course, like, they had this big coach bus that took us around to places, and because we didn't fit in the coach bus, there was another little van, a camionetita, that had like some of our leaders and our pastors and stuff like that in that van, and even some youth. So we're on this big bus, and we're coming down from this mountain volcano thing that we didn't even get a chance to see. And on our way down, it had been raining. There's a couple other stories that came about the driver being intoxicated, a couple other things. But when we were coming down, the bus lost control, and we ended up the bus ended up kind of turning into a ditch and scraping along this big, I don't know, a wall of dirt. It just kind of tipped over and just kind of dragged until it stopped. But while it dragged, well, first of all, what took us completely off surprise is the minute it flipped into the ditch, because it knocked everybody off their seats. People went flying forward, sideways. People were just out of their seats. And then as it was going down this mountain cliff thing, it hit the wall of dirt and it had branches on it. So all the windows on the right side of the bus completely broke in. So it was just a moment that froze. Everybody, once the bus stopped dragging and it came to a halt, everybody was in shock. Everybody just all of a sudden bursted out, either yelling, crying, in pain, because all the windows were glass and they were broken in. Like, people had glass on their face, people had glass on their hair and their body, people ended up getting hurt. It was just something surreal. Like, we had just done a mission trip. We had just gone and preached the gospel. We had gone and, supported and helped out, kids and spent time with kids. And we have, spent all this time and money and effort, and all of a sudden we're in this bus and we're not knowing what just happened. We're not knowing if people are really okay or not. It was crazy. And I think that's why I think so many of us from that trip that were on that bus are so close, because we literally almost died together. So when we're on this bus, my first thought process, because my little brother Jonathan went with me on that trip, was, Jonathan, where is he? Is he okay? I was at the front of the bus, well, more towards the middle of the bus, and he was towards the back of the bus. So my cry out was, Jonathan, are you okay? Are you okay? And other people had siblings, so their cry out was for their siblings. Other people were just, is everyone okay? And because my worry was so much on my brother, if he was okay, I didn't even realize what was going on with me until somebody said, Hannah, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm okay. Is my brother okay? Because that was my worry. And I hadn't even realized that I had gotten glass on the side of my face, to the point where, like, I guess my ear had opened up, and it was just, there was so much blood right here. It looked a lot worse than it was, but it was just blood. And I was so in shock of what had just happened that I didn't even see the blood. I didn't even feel it hurt me. I didn't even feel the glass. Like, that didn't even, like, trigger or, like, hit me. It was my brother. Is my brother okay? So once I knew he was okay, then obviously people started coming out. People that, were driving by, people that lived close by came out. It just turned into this chaos. They were trying to get us out the bus because they didn't know if it was leaking gas, if it could explode. They're trying to get us out the bus through the windows. Obviously, like, ambulances got called. Other people also had, somebody had hit their head really hard, so they didn't know if they were, what's that word called when they, like, hit their head? I forgot what it's called. A concussion. Thank you. They didn't know if they had a concussion. Somebody else had just recently undergone surgery, so they didn't know they had internal bleeding. Other people did get cut through with glass, so they needed stitches. Apparently mine was bad enough to where my ear had opened up, so I was gonna need stitches. So, ambulances got there. It was crazy. Next thing you know, we're at the hospital. I'm getting my stitches, and that was literally the day before we left. So people got separated. People got sent to different places. Of course, we all had supervision of some sort. But we got back to the hotel after everything had happened, and it was like the joy of seeing each other again, obviously, was like beyond what we could even imagine. But I don't think we would have been as happy or as joyful or as thankful if we hadn't gone through what we had gone the days before that, ministering, worshiping, just being in the presence of God, spreading the gospel, making friends with people that perhaps were, didn't really feel like there was somebody else out there that, was in their shoes or felt the same way that they did, or went through the same obstacles that they were going through. All of that, I believe, God had everything planned for us, led up to that moment. And that's why, like, today I can still say, like, I think, like I said earlier, the people that went on that trip, we got so close, and there was this bond between us because so many of us underwent this traumatic experience with each other. So that was part of my experience of what I went through when I went on my mission trip to Costa Rica. After that, we did another mission trip to Spain, and that was more about sharing the word. It was more about evangelizing on the streets. So that was also a really, really great trip. Then I did another trip to the Dominican Republic. Again, guys, and God is so amazing how He works sometimes. So I went again to the Dominican Republic, and it was called Mission Caribbean. So it was a whole different mission trip, and this was with Apostolic International Missions. So it's part of our organization. But what's so crazy is that we went obviously with the focus again of spreading the gospel, and it was like crusades and, obviously helping brothers and sisters, just kind of uplifting their spirits and stuff like that. But 3 days we got separated into teams of about 20, and because there was like 100 people that went on that mission trip. So we got separated into teams, and then each team was sent to like a different city within the Dominican Republic to go to that church that was in that city or town and help them have a crusade. So our location was about an hour and a half from Santo Domingo. Guys, this is all God. So I get assigned to a team, you know, and they're like, yeah, your team is going to, I think it was called Bani. They're like, yeah, you're going to go over there. Blah, blah. I'm like, okay, you know. So yeah, vamos, you know, we get there. And they're like, okay, we're going to go straight to the church. You guys can see the church. You guys can see we're going to have service. Because then we're going to start, you know, evangelizing. And we're going to pass out flyers for the crusade this in the next couple of days. And we're like, okay, you know, we're pumped. So we get to the church. And it's the exact same church that I had been like 5-6 years ago, where we painted a church when I first went on my first mission trip ever. They had never known that I had gone on a mission trip there, nor that I had been to that church. I didn't even know I had been to. It wasn't until like I was physically there, and I was like, I've been here before. And they were like, you have? I'm like, I've been here before. It was so crazy. And then the hermana, the pastor's wife, saw me and she recognized me. She's like, hermano, usted ha venido antes? And I'm like, yes. It was, so, I don't know, it was such an amazing feeling to say, wow, like I was a part of the beginning of this church when it was first constructed. We painted it, and now like we're back and we're having, because the church had grown so much that we're having like a crusade now. It was so amazing to be a part of that. So that was that was back in, let me look, I have to look at the dates. That was back in 2016. So after 2016, 2017. So as you can see, like I go on a mission trip ever since then. Like I try to go on one every year. I went to Africa, and I would need like at least an hour to talk about Africa. Africa, that was it's always been in my heart, and it was always a dream of mine to go to Africa, and I got to experience that in 2017, and it was amazing. Like it was just amazing. So I won't go into too much detail about it, because I think I want to do a live just on that trip. So that was Africa 2017, and then last year I went to Peru. But last year for Peru, I went with an organization called We've Got Your Back, and the founder of that organization goes to my church. So he put together an organization called We've Got Your Back, and what they do is they provide book bags and school supplies to obviously underprivileged children in third world countries that are in need, that perhaps they're not able to afford that. So he works with people that donate that book bags and supplies, and then he takes a team to these countries, to these schools. Obviously he does his research and stuff, and to certain schools where we can distribute the book bags to these kids that don't have that. So I got to go with them last year to Peru, and it was pretty amazing. And this year I've signed up already. I'm going to Colombia, and it's pretty much the same. I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to lower the volume, but it's with the same organization. It's with We've Got Your Back, and their cause. I'm a big believer. I'm a big advocate for education. As some of you guys know, I worked my butt off, and I had huge support, obviously, my friends and my family. But I recently just got my master's, and I believe that education is fundamental. Like, not only do you continuously learn, but you're able to be a blessing to so many other people with what you gain, that knowledge that you gain, experience that you gain. So I believe in education a lot. So being able to go help distribute book bags to kids that perhaps don't have that vision or that dream because of their surroundings or their atmosphere or their family or their background, but being able to go and at least say, hey, like you could do this, giving them some words of affirmation or words of encouragement, to see the smile on their faces when they receive something that they know is going to help them. It's that feeling is priceless. So that's why I signed up to go with them again this year. So this year, like I said, they're going to Colombia. They're going to Medellin. They're going to Cartagena, and I believe Cali. So we're going to go distribute book bags in those different cities. And I know for sure one of the towns we're going to be visiting, I think it's called Nelson Mandela, and it's like a really low impoverished city or town. And I know that's one of the places we're going to be visiting. So I'm really excited to be going again. But as many of you guys know, like mission trips, they're not cheap. And I think a lot of people think that you get paid to go on these, and that's not how it works. You give your time, you give your effort, you give your resources, you give money, and everything comes out of pocket. So a lot of people, obviously fundraise to be able to go on these trips. A lot of people do pay out of pocket, like I said. People that have jobs, obviously, people do half and half. Some people fundraise, some people pay out of pocket. So there's like a lot of different ways that you can obviously completely fund your trip, but it varies depending on your, you know, your depending on like your lifestyle or what you're doing at the time. So I've done some fundraisers in the past, and this year I'm definitely doing one too. I know I'm partnering up with my friend Yadi, but this year, last year I did t-shirts, and I wanted to do t-shirts again because I feel like that's something that you can keep as like a keepsake, but you're also giving a donation. But before I do that, before I tell you guys about that information, like I want to give a huge shout out. And I don't know if he's on here. I think I saw Martha log on. But I want to give a huge shout out to my cousin Jesus. Like, he is like the real MVP. Like, he went above and beyond, like helping me. And I know sometimes I can be like a pain because I'm really picky about things. But he was able to help me get a local store here that prints t-shirts. He was able to get me like a good deal. He was able to help me get the design for the t-shirts, and he was able to help me just put together like a store where we can sell the t-shirts. So I'm so appreciative. So thank you so much, Jesus, for helping us out. So these are, I'm going to show you guys the shirts. I know Ilse is going to do me the favor of linking the link of where you can go. You can either order t-shirts online, or I'll be selling them this weekend at my church. I'll be selling them Saturday and Sunday, and I'll also be selling them at a kind of resale boutique that I'm going to have in my house on the 23rd. So there's different ways you can get them. You can get them through me this weekend. You can get them on the 23rd coming to my house, or you can order them online. And it's only a $20 donation, guys. That's how you can help us out. So you donate $20 and you get a t-shirt. And so I want to show you guys the two tees that we have. There's a black design, a black t-shirt with the design that says Trust and Go. And I felt like me and Yadi picked that because it's obviously it relates, right? Like sometimes I feel like we have to trust God when we step out of our comfort zone. Sometimes it's scary, like, right? If we haven't got out of the country, if you haven't gone, and if you're going to do something that you've never done before, it can be a little scary. But you know what? Like, you know, God tells us that if we trust in Him, like He's got our back. He's going to take care of things. He's going to provide. He's going to make a way. He's going to obviously not just take us somewhere to fail, right? Like, and I think something that's been with me since my first mission trip is just serving. Serving is something that God wants us to do, whether it's locally at, in our community, in our church, or whether it's going out of our comfort zone to another country and doing that. And I read something today. Oh, before I show you the shirt, I read something today that I really, really liked, and it says, where is it? You will never regret investing your time, your money, and your heart in serving others. And that is so true, guys. Like, I have, for the places I've been to, mission trip wise, you could never put a value on that. And I've had so many experiences, and I've grown so much from those experiences that I can never regret something like that. So I definitely encourage those that have never been on a mission trip, go for it. It might be scary. It might be like you feel like it's a lot, but there's no such, like, there isn't a bigger, more rewarding feeling that going and serving others. So my first t-shirt that we have is, it has the logo Trust and Go. And I don't know if you guys can see it that clearly, but that's why it's that, I used to put the little link. So it's a black t-shirt, and it just says Trust and Go. And it has like little airplanes in the corner, which I think is super cute. We try to make it as unisex as possible, so both guys and girls can wear it. That's the first t-shirt. Like I said, it's a $20 donation, and it comes in all sizes. Sizes small to, I think it's 3X. That's the first shirt we have. And then the other one that we have, which I really, really like too, it's Better Together. So this is the second one. It's just a gray with black letters. That's also for a $20 donation. And I really like this. And I'm going to tie it to a quote that I found by Mother Teresa. And it says, "Not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with great love." But we can do those things together. And I think when we work together, as friends, as a family, as a church, as people of this world, we can accomplish so much more. So I really, really like that one too. So that's the gray shirt, Better Together. And then lastly, this is something that's new that I haven't done before, but I really, really wanted to give it a try because I liked it. It's a hat. It's a baseball hat. It's all canvas. It's all black, and it says Better Together. So this is like a lot tinier. it's just black and it just has the words better together. And I really like that because you can dress it up, you can casual it down, and you can just wear it, and it's not something where it's too much or too little. It's just better together. We can do so much more. So that's what I have for you guys today. I really hope you guys can support us. Like I said, we'll be selling them this weekend at church. You can order them online with the link that Ilse put in the comments, or you can buy it when you guys come to my resale shop I'm gonna have on the 23rd. If you guys have any questions, feel free to send me a message via Instagram. I'm also on Facebook. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm also going to post the video on YouTube, so if you guys are subscribed to my YouTube channel, or if you're not, feel free to subscribe, but I'll also put the link on the video when I put it on YouTube as well. So thank you in advance for your support. I'm super excited to go, and I can't wait to tell you guys all about it. There's more stuff to come along the way, but that's all I have for you guys today. I'm sorry I didn't go into detail about all my trips because there's so much to talk about them, but hopefully in the future I can maybe break it down and really just talk about each and every one, because every single one of them was like a whole different experience. So that's all I have for you guys. Like, I went way over my time today, but it's just because I love to talk about this. So once again, hope you guys can support us. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Enjoy it. It's supposed to be great weather tomorrow, so enjoy that warmth because then it's gonna get cold again. So yeah, thanks for joining, guys. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.